unique names.
Aren't getting that goal. That's good.
Oh shit! I just left the meeting,
But not really.
but not really. Kind of.
That's a fantastic cold open.
So much I have to edit.
I just left the meeting.
So much. Mike just added like 3 minutes to my editing suite time.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
You get to bill for that, right? Like that
I do,
goes straight
yeah.
to Wicked Spursy Finance.
Yep, $200 an hour is my going rate. Yep, and I Wicked Spursy's behind on a few invoices, but that's okay. Well, that's fine.
You can mail that in care of Mike here.
Right.
Guys, we're live on the air.
We know, but where are you, Mike? We're waiting for you, man. Where are you?
Here.
We want to see your face. We can't record without seeing your
The thing is, nobody wants
old white guy in a basement face. That's what we're looking for right here.
Nobody wants my face on there.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, all 2 people on YouTube want it.
Let's record a podcast, huh, boys?
Let's do it.
Just for Mike in 3. Hey, this is Wicked Spursy, Mike, Steve, and Dave, and all you Liverpool fans can suck it. Pans too can suck it as well. Look what I brought. I brought
from Liverpool.
Oh, you can't see it. I brought my sip of sunshine for our friends from Liverpool. That's what they need. They need a sip of sunshine.
I brought a nice. You won't be able to see this either, but it's a nice hoppy lager.
Oh, you're so hoppy, aren't you, Steve? I like it. Mike, what are you drinking in this moment? Not what are you drinking later, but what are you drinking now?
I'm drinking Founders all day IPA Haze.
Nice.
Founders, purveyors of wonderful sessionable IPAs.
All day.
All day.
That's how long Liverpool fans keep complaining, right?
No, that's all week.
It's true.
All day,
possibly into the month.
All day, every day, which is the inbred cousin of Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
Yeah,
very true.
Which is also Liverpool fans.
Okay, let's do it quick. How you doing, Stevie boy? How's it going, man? What's going on in your world?
Let's see what is going on in my world. Anything big happen? Oh yeah, the team that I coach, the Vermonsters.
The big green machine, right?
Officially clinched our rec league, top of the league. Mathematically cannot be caught in the 4 remaining games split between 2 days that we have left.
Did you bring Flav in and be like, guys? Obviously not, but could we? That was like his pep talk, right? Could we? Obviously not, but
no. But there was one funny moment where in one of the games we were playing, we went down 3 goals pretty early on, and the team's sitting there and they're looking at me and they're just like, you need to put all the best players on at the same time. And I was like, absolutely not. The rest of you need to learn how to defend.
Oh,
trial by fire. Hey,
that's some tough love right there.
I mean, yeah, I straight up tell them every week, you cannot rely on 1 or 2 people to carry your team. It is a team sport, not an individual sport. If you rely on one person, you are going to lose. Plain and simple.
And you know what? You're also teaching them that losing is for losers.
Yeah.
These kids are frothing at the mouth to play for their gaffer.
Steve, I got a question for you. I'm thinking back to, childhood sports experience. 2 key things. There was the post-game celebration, which was often like went to the local ice cream place, got your baseball helmet sundae with, sprinkles and nuts and what have you on it, right?
Pizza Hut.
And then there was the end of the season, which I don't know about you guys, but for us, it was in that day, it was Showbiz Pizza, and then it became Chuck E. Cheese, but like a big blowout type of thing. So can I ask, are there plans? Is there an end of season champions blowout? Are there post-game celebrations? What's that look like in today's world?
Champions blowouts are for winners. You want a nice, fun surprise on the last day of the season? Win out.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Set those expectations.
It's funny.
Baby.
We at practice last night, I put our 3 best players by far on one team versus everybody else all at the same time. And the all at the else team said, if we win, you have to bring pizza to Wednesday's practice. And I said, you know what? Fine. If that's what it takes to motivate you and get you guys to play, do it. If you can beat the 3 people. Now, this was 3v9, just for anybody keeping track. to 3-1. And to their credit, the 9 did score 1 goal.
Nice.
But they ended up losing the scrimmage like 3-1. So
Hey, sounds like
So
I pointed out, like, look, this is why we defend. This is why you can't all run to the ball at the same time. You leave 2 people of this skill wide open, they're going to score on you.
So come on, there's going to be pizza though, right?
there will be pizza somewhere.
Pizzas for winners.
You know what you need to do, Steve? Steve, involve the team moms. Let them have a little say and investment in it, and you're golden, right? Everybody's happy.
Look,
I got a feeling Steve has a couple of gift cards coming his way at the end of the season,
right?
Tomorrow's
Coach Steve, you're the
practice.
best.
Tomorrow's practice is going to be parents versus kids. So
You're doing it. All right, good.
well, I'm trying. I only have
better-
one person who volunteered to do it. So if
better
I
make
have
them-
to take on my entire team by myself with one parent, then it'll be real tough love for them.
Good times. Mike, what's going on in your world, man? How you doing?
Dave, I got a new fucking phone.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
iPhone 11. What would you get?
iPhone 15.
Ooh, someone told me that those
It's
run
the
hot.
Wicked Spursy edition.
Nice. Someone told me those run hot, like they get toasty in your hand. Is that a thing?
So far it's only overheated while charging.
Oh, okay.
They got a fix for it though. They're gonna put it in one of the bug fixes coming up here.
Sure.
The updates is what it is. All phones have it. The phone itself is fantastic. The camera is beautiful. I don't know how they keep doing it, but they keep improving the cameras and the functionality. And I got it for like $7 a month. I mean, good deal with my old phone trade-in.
Not bad.
Well done, young lad. Well done.
I know. I finally learned how to trade in a phone.
They don't make
I
it easy.
finally learned how to either not drop my phone in a fucking 10-foot deep river, and I've also learned to not destroy the phone before it's able to be traded in. So, progress.
I've been fighting with my good friends at Verizon for like several months now on a phone trade-in, making sure the value gets applied. We're almost there. If I'm really angry, I call the Xfinity Comcast folks and yell at them about my bill. But when I need something done, I call Verizon and see if I can make any progress. So if any of you folks are out there, I'm that Dave that calls. So I would love to talk to you more.
Outside of that, my kid had a rough day on Sunday. Scored a goal, came off the pitch and said, "I did not play well." And he understands that there's lots of competition. There's a bunch of new kids on the team who are younger and freakishly talented. One of them is shorter than Steve and is also freakishly talented. That was a short joke, Steve. I know you're not that short.
Average, damn it.
Definitely not short for an 11-year-old.
That is true.
So this kid is like 9 years old, and he's got a Gareth Bale fucking top knot, which drives me nuts. But he is this little tiny dude, and he's like a buzzing bee that just won't go away. And the kid's got it. Lucas knows there's competition. He did not feel great coming off the field the other day, and wasn't doing so hot in the car. So we had a talk with him. He came home, took a shower, and then after his shower decided he wanted to go back outside and start kicking balls. He went outside and started working on his finishing for 30 minutes, came back inside, had to reshower. But then put that into practice yesterday, immediately earned a penalty within the first 5 minutes of the game. Beautifully taken penalty. And then at the very end of the game, one of his buddies crossed the ball over to him. He was at the far post, just inside the 18-yard box, and played it off a half volley. I mean, beautiful, just side swiping leg, and smashed it into the far post, into the far side of the goal. So, I mean, it was a beautiful ball put in, and a beautiful ball that he shot. So, he's back on it. He was brimming with confidence. That said, he has chosen to not play in his Georgia school game on Thursday. Instead, he's going to the corn maze with the community center. He told the coach, he's like, I'm not going to the game on Thursday. I'll be going to the corn maze. And to which the coach replied, "My corn maze?"
That's funny. That's funny.
He's like, yeah, I'm going with the Jimmy Center. He goes, yeah, you're going to my corn maze. We have a game.
That's really funny.
And Luke goes, yeah, I'm going to the corn maze.
Actually, it's really smart by him. I think this weekend,
He's got his
like
priorities set.
starting Friday, is supposed to start getting rainy and cold and ugly. So Thursday might be the last nice day he gets.
Lucas has his priority set, which I'm all for, man. Go to the community center, learn some civic pride. And
hey Steve, we'll see the next game when Lucas doesn't start. We'll see if Mike still is talking civic pride and priority straight. You know what I'm saying?
Steve,
you know it's coming, Mike.
Steve would sit him for the next game.
You know it's coming. I'm just
He's
warning
fucking
you.
Ruthless.
Steve gotta be. Hey, you can't let these kids walk all over you.
Steve will Mourinho him right out of the fucking club.
You guys see that Roma's talking about maybe firing Mourinho and hiring Conte? You guys see that?
I haven't heard that, but I have seen that Mourinho's like throwing players on the bus for being under the bus for being injured, and it's like, dude, yeah, it's because you won't stop playing the injured players, which we can get into because it's a good segue into what we can talk about with the game itself.
All right, segue away.
Yeah, there was a game.
Segue away. Yeah, we had a game.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned this particular game that we played, because it's easy for me to forget that it happened, considering there has been absolutely zero talk about it.
No talk about it.
Haven't heard a thing.
Yeah.
I have heard a thing about it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I have.
What have you heard?
There's a lot of like shrieking and stuff coming through the airways. Shrieking and crying and crying foul.
Gnashing of teeth too. I've heard
the gnashing of teeth.
Tearing of burlap shirts. You know, like just all that.
I mean, the petitioning of the government. You know, here's the thing. The game was actually kind of being dominated by Spurs at the time. Spurs dominated the first 20 minutes of the game. And to the credit of Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp, they decided they were going to try and absorb some pressure and start counterattacking us, which is the way to beat Ange ball, but nobody's done it successfully as of yet. At that moment, game kind of turned. I thought that Spurs looked really good. Lot of high pressing, a lot of action in the midfield. The passing was crisp. I mean, the team was playing very, very well. And then, you know, Luis Diaz gets free on a beautiful run toward the goal. Unfortunately, he was ruled offside on the field. I say unfortunately because I have learned to appreciate a lot of this stuff. You know, a lot of these nice, beautiful runs and how teams are able to counterattack on a team that is constantly pushing forward and dominating the game on you. At that moment, it can flip everything right on its head, and it would have had the VAR booth not really fucked everything up. I mean, do you understand where I'm going? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question.
Hold on. Before you ask the question, can I just ask? I want to capture what I heard Mike say. We dominated the early stages of the game. Liverpool made adjustments and was finding some effectiveness. There was a bad refereeing decision, and that's about it, right?
I wish I could say that was it.
Okay. All right. Over to Steve.
My question for you, Mike, is do you have any sympathy for the refs in this situation, having listened to the audio that they released now? Well, they released it a few hours ago, but you know what I mean.
I don't have any sympathy for the referees.
Hold on. For any listeners that haven't heard it, Steve, what did that audio basically reveal?
Basically, the audio reveals that they went through this whole process. They did their whole check complete thing. They what they didn't know was that the decision on the field was offside. they thought the goal had been given. So, they were going through it. And I think I think they were saying the camera operator was asking, like, are you sure? Like, are you really sure? You're happy with this? Like, this is good? And he's like, yeah. We're good. Play restarts. And then somebody at some point shortly after play restarted in the game goes, but the call on the field was offside.
Michael Oliver, right? Was the one speaking to him, the fourth official.
You just confirmed that it was offside. They're like, and then you could hear the oh fuck, like
yeah, you could hear the but
I don't have any sympathy for the referee. I don't have any sympathy for the referees on the field, and I certainly don't have any sympathy for the VAR officials. This shit happens all the time. Mm-hmm. Thing is, it's amplified because it's fucking Liverpool and it's fucking Spurs, right?
Hey, big surprise! People screw up at work all the time. Just gonna say. People screw up at work. What do? You acknowledge it, you apologize, you move on, and you try not to have it happen again.
Right.
Isn't it really that simple?
Yeah,
you would think so.
I mean, typically, when people screw up at work, it's not going to cost millions of dollars, but
it can.
Here's my thought. And just bear with me, because I think that the Liverpool fans should be fucking completely irate about this. They should be completely irate about this. But you can be irate about this and fucking move on. Right? You can understand these things are not going to be adjudicated in the middle of a fucking game after the play's already restarted. They're going to be adjudicated. They may not even be adjudicated right after the game. No. What's going to happen is they're going to take a look at that at the end of the season, or in the middle of in January when we have the break, and make the change then.
At most, someone's going to get fired. At most.
Here's what they need. At most, someone's going to get fired. But here's the deal. They don't need to change the system. They need to change the way that people communicate within the system. And it's a human error. And
yep.
I'm not saying that it's Spurs against the world, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, oh, woe is us. This always happens to Spurs, so it's about time it happens to Liverpool. Other people are saying that. I think Steve is probably going to say that, maybe he's not.
All I would say is that we have been on the unfortunate receiving end of some rule-changing decisions. And we're consistently told, just get on with it, So my sympathy for the fans is pretty minimal, considering we've had at least a handful of these decisions that have literally next day resulted in a major rule change to address a clear gap in process, a clear gap in rules or the application of the rules. And we are our concerns are consistently minimalized.
There was a miscommunication between the VAR official, the fourth official, and the official on the field. And the official on the field started play before the lines were drawn, before everything was checked. Actually, the lines were drawn. In that video that they show, the lines were drawn, showing him to be onside. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way because the human error. What I want to know is, how many times is there what we call an egregious error in a game? Have there been a miscommunication from up above to down below that caused that error that we don't know about? Because Manchester United goalkeeper Onana, absolutely red card, fouled a Wolves player on the first game of the season.
You know what, though, Mike? I want to.
It's the clubs. It's the clubs.
I want to. I gotta push back on that a little bit. And you'll have every right to tell me that I'm taking a nonsensical approach, but it's oversimplified to say it's not our business. But that's kind of the approach I want to take. Like you're asking, I wonder how many times it's happened and we, haven't known about this. How many times has there been egregious error of miscommunication? Strip VAR out of it. Strip instant replay out of it. Go back to when all you had were officials on the field where they would huddle up and talk about a decision. Miscommunication could occur there. Posturing could occur there. Bullying could occur there. Any number of things could happen where the dynamics of how a decision gets made are perhaps flawed. Is it the right of the fan, the viewer, to have an inside track to all that and to know exactly what goes into that? That's bullshit. That's absolute and total bullshit. It's like there's no right for that. What we
it's
think
a social
is,
media age. I mean,
and so we think
need
that
all information about everything all the time.
Bullshit, right? I'm not saying
no, it is
bullshit.
It is bullshit.
It is.
Yeah.
We think that VAR became like this arbiter of truth and justice. Like there's never going to be a problem now because everything's on video and reviewed. Bullshit, because human beings are managing the technology, managing the process. Until we turn everything over to technology to make all the decisions, you're going to have human flaws. And as long as there's human flaws, both in players, coaches, officials, and fans, shut up about something that you don't do, right? Like let other people do their job the same way we all want to do our jobs and not have someone tell us how to do our jobs. And when you screw up, acknowledge it, move on. Off my soapbox. Steve.
And I mean, look, let's try to simplify this for people, right? Let's forget referees for a second. We've all, I would have to imagine most people listening are employed or have been employed in some capacity at some time. Have you ever had that person at work who really should know how to do way more than they are actually doing? That person who always sends you a Slack message trying to figure out how to open a PDF, a piece of technology, by the way, somebody who can't quite get their Excel spreadsheet to get the right numbers going, another piece of technology that a human is interacting with. Like, this isn't a unique situation just to the Premier League. It's not a unique situation to referees as a career. It's just, Dave, I think I agree with you. It's a human thing. Humans make mistakes all the time. The processes in place are garbage to deal with them. And frankly, some of the biggest irritation that I have with this whole thing is that some of the solutions or some of the talk about it has been just deliberately one-sided, right? So I was listening to the Sky Sports. They were doing an analysis of the audio because everybody's got to fucking dissect it, 6 ways to Sunday. And one of the people on their panel,
and Mike's analysis was spot on. You talked about it. Our analysis was spot on. Like that's all it was. There's nothing more to say about it.
But but the thing that really annoyed me was, somebody was saying, well, one of the refs should have realized that it was a mistake and, screw the rules. We're going to take a stance and we're going to correct an obvious error. And to me, like, that approach is just so elitist, right? So what? It's a big deal because it's Liverpool, so you can just stop the game and change the rules on the spot. Could you imagine if the roles were reversed, right? And it's Spurs who are on the receiving end of this? I guarantee the media shitstorm wouldn't be that big of a deal. Or if it was in Burnley v Sheffield, not going to happen. Nobody's going to look at this. Nobody's going to even suggest breaking the rules to make a change in the middle of the game, right? And why? Because it's disingenuous, right? So there was a mistake that was made, and you're going to correct it by breaking a rule, making an additional mistake, essentially, to favor the other team. So you're righting one wrong with another wrong, like that. No, we've talked about this. We've all given our views. I think Mike's absolutely right. Look, change the process after the fact, move on. Nothing is going to be solved. Liverpool's not getting a replay. They're not getting points added in. Maybe they get, some money, a kickback or something for the incorrect decision. But that's it. The rule, the communication process, that's going to change. You should be happy that's going to change. Stop fucking talking about it. Mm-hmm. We don't need to deal with this. No other club gets this level of attention for a single decision made over the course of 90 plus minutes.
Manchester United won, but we're gonna stop there. I mean, okay, so that happened.
Hey, Mike,
that happened in the 20th
Mike, before you go further, can I just tell you something? And unfortunately, I already know the answer to this on my end, but I just got a text from my sister, who's a listener. She's going to appreciate that I'm doing this live thing. I got a friend from work that has Bears tickets for Thursday in DC and can't go. Would you want to take these tickets? How would you like that, Mikey? We could go down on a DC Bears Bears Commander.
Why would you do
I can't
that to
do it.
yourself?
I can't do it, but just throwing that out there.
You can't do it because
also
of,
on
of
call.
personal work related issues, or because you don't want to suffer for several hours.
Watching those two teams play.
For me, and first of all, props to my sister for the offer. For me, it's my wonderful mother has been with us for the week, and she leaves tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to getting to talk to my wife starting tomorrow night, and doing the old catch up routine there. That'll be fun. But
unfortunately for me, my other wife, University of Vermont Medical Center, needs me on premises for the weekend. So
there you go. Sorry, Mike. We had our shot, man. Look at that. It just presented itself. And
nuts.
Nuts.
It's nuts.
Back to you, though, Mike.
So anyway, there's the rest of a game to talk about here.
With the way that people have been talking this week, I thought the game ended after 30 minutes and that was it.
No, so the game
it ended the moment we stole it, right?
Even if the goal had been allowed, and I don't think I know we're laughing and joking about it, but I don't think anybody's suggesting that Spurs stole the game. I think they're suggesting that the refs took the game from them, which is also not true, because even if that goal had been allowed, there's still 70 minutes plus of a game to play.
For sure.
And who knows how Spurs would have reacted to that, how Liverpool would have started to defend. My guess is that Liverpool would have opened up a little more, widened out their defense, started playing a little bit of their own attack and pressing game, Jurgen pressing or whatever the fuck they want to fucking call it, and Spurs would have played right into Postecoglou's hands. Here's the thing: no goal. It didn't happen. So guess what? We play on. And when we play on, what happens? Liverpool starts to get a little desperate. They start to play a little harder in midfield, and some poor bastard gets really fucking excited, goes to make a challenge on a ball that Ibasuma had made it to, rolls his foot over the top of the ball, gets a red card because his studs go directly into Basuma's leg. And had that his leg been fully planted, it would have broken his leg. It was a dangerous challenge, causing a red card. Poor bastard. There's no intent there. He was going in. Well, there was intent. There was intent to use his studs to recover the ball in that spot.
Mike, but
everybody was playing really fucking hard.
That while we're on the subject of this red card challenge, I just want to make it known officially that Gary Neville needs to get Klopp's balls out of his mouth. I mean, holy shit, dude. Like, that commentary, the entire time, his commentary was just so egregiously pro-Liverpool bias that it was just disgusting to listen to.
Did you hear him say, "Oh no, oh no"?
He did.
No.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh no."
It's like, dude, if you can't take your job seriously and provide, a unbiased commentary for what's going on in front of you, fucking quit. Hand in your microphone, leave the studio. Like,
even the
that
guys
was
on NBC
embarrassing.
at halftime were like, for me, yeah, it's a red.
And
it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate red.
I'm going to throw it out. This is something that I think American sports do remarkably better than the Premier League, whether it's, local English broadcasting or even the NBC stuff, is think about how many former athletes, former coaches are commentators for NFL or Major League Baseball, right? Those guys aren't homers. Like Troy
Aikman.
Well, Troy Aikman, but he's an exception. The rest of them, I think, do a really good job, generally speaking, about not being homers and not being overly shady about a team. But man, in football, it's a whole different ballgame, man. It's pretty ridiculous, to be frank.
Yeah, I mean, even Lee Dixon, though, I'll give it to the guys at NBC. They weren't overly super. This is an outrage. This is a travesty. Blah blah. Again, there's still more game to go on.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny gets that beautiful ball from Richarlison, who got a beautiful ball from Maddison, who I didn't think was great on the day. I think Maddison had probably his worst game at Spurs so far. Granted, he was carrying an injury, and to the point that that point of the game, I felt that Richie was really good. And I felt that getting on further into the game, Richie got worse and worse and worse. Upon rewatch, I think I was just so emotional at that point of the game that I had so much invested in it that I just lost focus. And, upon rewatch, Richie had a really good game. He was doing a lot of great things on that left side.
What kind of emotions are we talking about here, Mike? What were you dealing with while this game was going on?
I was dealing with assholes texting me. I was dealing with
on your new iPhone 15.
No, I didn't have the.
Oh, you didn't have it yet?
No, I didn't have it yet. I didn't have it. I didn't get it till halftime. But I had
after the VAR decision. That was when you got it.
Right? Yeah. So I was getting a lot of shit coming from everywhere. So I did do a rewatch. Richie was fantastic. I thought Basuma was good up until that challenge on his leg. I think he started to take it a little easy and he got a little lazy, a little careless. I thought Decky was out there working,
doing
really
Decky
hard,
things.
Doing Decky things.
Mm-hmm.
I think once Jota got his red card, we were already finding it tough to break down the 10-man Liverpool squad. But once Jota got his yellow card, or his first yellow card, which again upon rewatch, he did clip Udogie. Udogie was a little bit too aggressive with his with his falling down, but he did clip him a little bit on the back of the heel, which caused his leg to go into his other leg. He felt the contact and he went flying. I really thought that at that point that Jota would have just said, all right, I'm going to settle down. But 2 minutes later, this dumbass has to come along and do another stupid fucking tackle, knowing he's on a yellow already, bringing them down to 9 men. Now, here's where the game turns.
I just want to go on record real quick. That first yellow, I disagree with. Yeah, it's a foul, but it's not a yellow. Like, that was just a stupid ref decision. So before anybody claims that I just hate Liverpool, I honestly do believe he was hard done there. That second challenge, though, total yellow. Like, that was completely fucking boneheaded.
We should probably replay the game, though.
There were two challenges that we had made, or that he had made, previous to that. So that yellow might have been reactive. That first yellow might have been reactive, saying, I gave you 2 chances.
Yeah.
This is your third. It happened to Rob Holding in the game a couple of years ago against Arsenal.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
That was a fun one.
But that first yellow of his was a fucking yellow. But I think under any normal circumstances, that's not a yellow for Jota. It's a foul 100%. The sell job by Udogie was great. I thought, after that he would settle down, but he didn't. But here's the thing, man. Liverpool went into their shell and they played that like bottom 3 style, park the bus defense. And the difference between a team like Luton Town or like a dice ball fucking style of soccer is park the bus style of soccer is that Liverpool has really, really good defenders. They have good defensive midfielders and they have really good defenders, and they have arguably top 3 player in the world, Mo Salah, who is going to outrun just about anybody except for Mickey van de Ven. He just is. And if they're able to absorb a little bit of pressure and get him out running, that's where they became dangerous. They became really dangerous. And I thought Liverpool overall on the day were the better team.
It's also worth noting.
Well, hold on. What did you just say?
I think Liverpool on the day were the better team.
On the day, Liverpool were the better team. Steve?
They certainly had their moments.
They defended really, really well.
Yeah, but the difference, and this is where a lot of people on social have been getting themselves tripped up. Well, Spurs should have done more versus 9-man Liverpool. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to play your game when you have 9 people whose only job is to defend and not let you play your game? It is a much different beast than going up against a team who is also considering attacking and trying to score a goal.
Oh, I'm not saying that that Spurs should have been better.
Yeah,
or that they should have
there.
scored 6 goals because they had 9 players. I'm saying that Liverpool defended like their lives depended on it.
Which they're good at.
And I think they were like in that situation, made them the better team. We didn't know how to break them down. Now,
agreed.
We had
100%.
two injured players on the field, and I'm not making excuses. We had 2 injured players on the field. When we took them off, it really made things a lot tougher. You know, they knew they were only going to get an hour. They didn't complain about coming off. They knew they were going to get 60 minutes to do something. They were taken off at 63, you know, in Madison, and who's probably our best creator, and Son. Now, when I think Ange made a mistake, when he took Son off and moved Richie to the center and put Solomon in, I think we should have put Valise in right there, the big boy in the middle. Then we have 2 big boys in the middle for set pieces to head the ball. We would have 3 big boys in the middle with Van de Ven, who can't jump, but he is like 6'12", 392 pounds.
But who's delivering those? If Madison's off and Perisic is injured,
Solomon,
Decky. Solomon was not good, Dave, and you cannot sit there and say that he was good. He wasn't.
I think Solomon does what he's supposed to do. I think
he did not though.
I can't blame Solomon for that, because again, it was 9 people defending. He's not going to cross those balls in. That's why it was the wrong decision to put him in.
Yeah, I think I disagree with you though, Mike, on Liverpool being the better team. I think Liverpool performed tactically what they needed to do under the circumstances, but just because they were successful with that and we struggled against it, I don't think that makes them the better team. I think on the day, the better squad won. Bottom line, I think it's that simple.
Yeah, okay. For me, it's tough to gauge, right? I think when we were playing 11v11, hell, even 10v11, it was an even contest, right? We were pressing, they were countering. It was really exciting, really good stuff. Who knows what would have happened if the full game lasted with, 11 on both sides.
They changed their tactics to suit the situation, and they were really good at it.
As they should be, and as any quality team should.
Yeah,
I will say that it is unfortunate when Madison.
I think Spurs played their worst game of the season.
When Madison's unavailable due to injury, getting subbed off, whatever the circumstances are, and our natural replacement for him in Lo Celso is also injured. That is probably our weakest area right now, right? If we can't create, if we don't have somebody to break this down, the teams who are going to defend deep and defend for long stretches, we just don't have it, right? With Perisic injured too, we're not getting anybody who's delivering those nice, sweet crosses in. It's difficult, right? But all that being said, I gotta give credit. This is despite the fact that, we still looked lackluster in trying to break down that sort of, deep defensive team. Where things are different now versus where they have been in the past. And again, broken record here, but last season in this situation, we don't get that go-ahead goal in the dying moments of the game. We just get frustrated. We give up. We do stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. And frankly, last season, I think we throw that game away. I think we find a way to lose
9 men last
year. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Liverpool cannot sustain this red card situation that they got themselves in. They cannot sustain this all season. They got lucky against Newcastle and ended up beating Newcastle a man down. Coming from behind, and I think that Spurs were just lucky that Klopp for some reason did not put Darwin Nunez on, because that dude can run too.
Yeah, but he can't finish. He can run, but he can't finish. I want to change the subject. Can I change the subject? Is that okay?
We're
talking about
Dave.
Football, so
enough about these bastards. I'm sick of them. I'm tired of talking about them. We look ahead, and you know what I think we need to do to look ahead, Steve? We need to ask a question, and I would like you to ask a really important question. Go for it.
Yes, the very important question. Who's the best coach in Northern Vermont rec soccer?
Coach Steve, Vermonsters.
Coach Steve.
Yeah, I dig it.
Coach Steve.
No, but the other question. Oh, you were talking about the other one. Sorry.
The other one, yes.
Just patting myself on the back there. The other question would be, hey, Mike, what you drinking?
Oh, took me by surprise, Steve.
Every time. It's
here's the
like you
thing.
don't even see it coming.
Here's the thing. I love it when you ask that, but you knew what I'm drinking. I think I told you what I'm drinking.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this.
Because
I feel out of the loop here. I feel left out.
Oh,
I feel
you-
excluded. I feel like a VAR referee who's not getting full communication from.
He's got a bottle.
from the team.
Bottle, Dave.
a bottle of beer. So it is a paper label. It's called triple. It's a Belgian triple. The triple de Saval.
Triple.
Triple
de Seville.
de Saval.
Dave Seville.
Dave Seville. So over the weekend, my family and I went to Two Heroes Brewing. It's a new brewery up in the Lake Champlain Islands.
I get it. Two Heroes. I get it.
Yeah. North and South Hero.
Yeah. Nice.
Beautiful area, beautiful spot. Right next to one of my favorite bagel shops, Wally's Bagels. But this is a Belgian strong ale, so it's a triple, but it's made with grape must from Snow Farm Vineyards, which is one of Steve's favorite places to visit.
It's a beautiful location.
Yeah. It is a beautiful location. And it's made with Champlain Valley hops. So it's a 100% Vermont produced Belgian style triple. I don't typically
which you're not a fan of, right, Mike?
I don't like Belgian beers typically.
Mike hates Belgians. Spread the word.
Confirmed. Mike hates Belgians.
Here we go. Confirmed.
Fabrizio
Dave,
Romano.
I'm particularly excited for this because I too visited Two Heroes recently, and I tried just 2 beers there. This one that Mike's going to try, and the other one, which I liked better, but Mike would hate it because it was a beer that they put fruit into it. It was a delicious Belgian.
It was not a beer brewed with fruit. It was a fruit added.
No,
beer.
it was a wit beer, I think.
Mikey,
no, it was not a Belgian. It was actually a Weiss beer.
Oh, that's yes.
Yeah, they threw an orange in there or a lemon for
raspberry puree.
Really?
It was delicious. My wife got hers with apricot, which was another option. You could get it without the fruit, but
I did.
What fun is that? What fun?
I did. I did.
Really quickly. Two Heroes, and is that I know that the word heroes is generally spelled with an E, but is there an E or is it just OS?
It's just like Kiss, World Without Heroes.
Okay, so the answer to my question is.
Fuck you, Dave.
E.
That's the answer.
Yes.
E. All right. And then what's the name of this once more?
Potato with an E. This is called Triple Tripel.
Yep.
De De Seyval. Seyval.
Seville. Just
Seville.
like from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
So Saval Blanc is a grape that's it's like a hybrid grape that's used to make it grows well in cool climates. And it's like,
hey, we're in a cool climate.
It's extra sweet. These beers are made to be put into a chalice, which I have. It's my Omegang Brewing chalice, which they're the purveyors of fine Belgian ales in New York.
You cracked me up, Mike.
Oh God. So this beer, Golden Strong Ale, just like a Belgian triple should be. Belgian triples are
just like Toby,
super alcoholic.
Like
they're super alcoholic. They're super high in alcohol. They're usually golden in color. They're kind of mid-range on the hop bitterness. My question is like, how is grape must? Like, grape must is like grape juice after it's been crushed before it's been turned into wine and fermented and turned into wine. How and why did they use grape must for this? Because you're just adding more sugar into what is already going to be a high test fucking beer. I don't even think so. This has been is this bottle conditioned? Because Belgian beers usually are.
He has given me an idea though. Next time I find a beer that's just a little bit too hoppy for my liking, I'm just gonna add sugar.
It's bottle re-fermented.
Add a little raspberry puree. Steve.
Just some table sugar. Just
some table sugar.
pour that in there, swirl it around a little bit.
Swirl it around a little bit, recap it, and put it in your closet, because then it'll just explode all over the
Was that Michael Scott who said he liked whiskey and Splenda? That was his go-to drink.
Oh, tastes like Splenda, get you drunk like scotch.
That's right, scotch and Splenda. What do you got, Mikey? What are you looking at here, buddy? I don't see I love this beer. I'm not getting
No, Dave, you would love this beer.
Would I?
Yeah, it's got like a little champagne-y quality. It doesn't hit you like a Belgian beer does. Belgian beers have that big yeast character, right? They always have that farmhousey big yeast taste. It doesn't necessarily have that. I think the grapes and the grape juice that's used in this give it that kind of champagne, almost like a champagne quality.
Kind of crisp it up a little bit.
So it's like
it's crisp, it's bubbly.
Or Miller.
No, it's like a Miller High Life, the champagne.
Ooh, very nice.
There we go.
No, I mean, it smells good. It doesn't have that, you like Hogarth and that kind of shit, that mass produced bullshit. This is a good beer. I really like it. I didn't think I was going to like this. I don't even know what the alcohol is on this. It doesn't, I don't think it says
8.6 or something.
8.2. So you can compare like a Belgian triple, like a strong ale, usually to like a wine. Usually they're like anywhere from like 8 to 10. A wine is like a 12%. This beer's really good. I really like this, and it's freshly brewed.
Steve, I'm sending you my prediction here. This is
it's really not freshly brewed. It's bottled. It was bottled 2 years ago, so it's bottle conditioned.
Wow. Interesting set of facts here that we're contemplating, right? Like Mike's reaction.
Yeah.
It's a beer he doesn't normally like. He's pleased with it. Really interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one.
Yeah,
we have a very big discrepancy.
We got a spread here, buddy. We do. Yeah, Mike, we want to know where you're landing because we are undecided.
Okay.
Wait, let's back up before you do that. 2 weeks ago, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, Ricky nailed it. Last week, I nailed it. So Steve is due, but really, we're just looking for a winner here. So give us a winner.
Yeah, the winner is going to be 3.9.
Damn it.
He literally went down the middle on us, Steve.
Yeah, he did.
He was at 3.5. I was at 4.2. I was going lofty.
3.5.
Steve at 3.5. Yeah.
Boy, Steve, you really don't think much of me.
Look, it's a beer you don't typically like, so I just assumed that it would be.
I like this one though. I said I liked it.
Mid.
I'm surprised that I like this. Yeah.
All right. How about a song?
All right.
Give us a song.
It's going to be Billy Joel, right? Something.
No. I feel like this is a happy.
I'm thinking Neil Diamond. This is kind of a Neil Diamond.
No, it's not a Neil Diamond. It's going to be Rusted Root. It's going to be Send Me on My Way. Send Me on My Way.
All right. Why'd you choose that?
I don't know. It's just like,
because fuck you, Dave. That's why.
Quit asking questions, Dave. This is Mike's discography coming out.
Dude, I just love this beer, and that song just has kind of a happy quality to it. And like every time you hear that, like you hear that flute in that song, and it just kind of makes you like kind of bop and kind of happy. This beer makes me happy. I really like it.
It's a good beer.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised I didn't buy more bottles of it for fucking $12.
Ooh, for one bottle?
Yeah,
it's an expensive beer.
Yeah. There you go. All right,
I really enjoy it, and visit this place if you can. If you come to Vermont, visit this place. It's a wonderful brewery, and
tucked away, nice and quaint little spot.
Yeah, and there's a creamy stand right up the road. That's just
Zeb's.
Yeah.
That's ice cream for those of you who don't know. Just
I got a small, and it was like
listeners are aware.
It was like a foot tall.
So the last time we were there, Natalie and I just picked up some milkshakes. But the people in front of us, they did order some creamies. And when they handed it to the one guy, he must not be from the area, because he looks at it and went, "This is a small compared to who?" It's like,
That's exactly what I said. I was blown away because I haven't been to like a real creamy stand that does like 7 foot tall smells, in a long
I feel
time.
like I've seen that more often than not, though. Like usually when I get it, I'll get Mox. The place that I like is, right down by the lake in St. Albans Town, the Bay Store. We'll go there because we can just walk
Bayside,
in the
yeah, man.
park. Yeah, and it's great. But I'll order a baby sized, and people are like, oh, baby sized, grown man ordering a baby, ha ha ha. But then they give it to you, and it's like, it's the size of a baby. Like
That's where Steve derives of power from. He eats babies.
just suck the nutrients right out. Yeah.
Sicko, Mike. You're absolute sicko. Hey, this has been Hey Mike, what you drinking? With Two Heroes, Triple Dave Saval, and
Send me on the way.
3.9 rating. Well done, Mikey. Enjoy the rest of that. Curious how it holds up to your drinking process. Boys, we are I know you hate to hear this. We're kind of approaching closing thoughts, but I think we have some important thoughts we still need to hit upon. So
yes,
let's get after it. Like, what, Steve, where do you want to go with closing thoughts? What's on your mind?
Well, first and foremost, the more important thing to talk about before I look ahead is, once again, I need to get on my soapbox here and ask all these fucking racists out there to just fucking stop. Like, goddamn, it's absolutely disgusting that we have to have like a tally or something going, unfortunately, just to count how many times we have to go on here and tell people to cut the crap. I mean, in this case, Destiny on the receiving end, because, oh no, he went down a little easily and got Jonah his first yellow. Grow the fuck up. Everybody gets fouled. Everybody embellishes a little bit. It's not worth being a fucking racist douchebag over. Like, just fucking stop. I am so sick. Every fucking week, it seems like we're on here talking about, well, this player's being racially abused on social media. This player's being racially abused. Just fucking stop. If you're that upset over the goddamn game, turn it off. Turn off the TV. Go on a walk. Think long and hard about yourself and where you are in your life, because you've got some fucking problems.
Nameless, faceless people can say whatever the fuck they want, whatever's on their minds. And that's the problem, is that there's no accountability left in this country. I'm starting to fucking sound like an old goddamn man. And I'm sounding like an old goddamn Republican conservative asshole. And maybe it's my old age, and I've been told that I'm going to get more and more conservative as I get older. The problem is, Steve, you're fucking right. These people need to fucking knock it off. Problem is, I don't think the average wicked Spursy listener is your average racist. I don't even think
right.
Steve, Mike prefers his racists to be out there and in the open, elected politicians like we're accustomed to seeing in the U.S. Right?
That way you can identify them. That way you can identify them, and you could point to them and say, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, except they get elected president, and then they're like, damn, how'd that happen?
Well, this is how.
This is how, because of the nameless, faceless people.
Valid.
Fucking douchebags. Like, it's just it.
So, guys, Luton Town.
Look, I'm gonna make an even grander observation looking at our schedule going forward, even past Luton Town, because I honestly don't think there's really much for us to discuss there. Luton Town's not very good. They're not ready for the Premier League.
Luton Town.
They're just yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath. But
Mike eats a whole loaf of French bread that
they're
day.
bready. They're real bready.
I'll do you one better.
Doughy in the middle. Schedule, am I right?
I think we're probably smooth sailing straight through Man City on December 2nd.
You don't say these things out loud.
Look, I'm feeling that comfortable right now. I think Man City is our next, and look, Chelsea's going to be difficult.
I think Aston Villa is. I think
Aston Villa, I agree 100% going to be
They're
difficult.
A good club. They're a good team.
But they're beatable if they are not on it, if they're not all together, if they have an off day, or even if they have an off 10 minutes of a game, they're getting punished. We've seen them get punished before. We've seen them do some serious punishing. They're not bad, but I think Spurs can beat them. I think City on the 2nd, with, Rodri back, with, hopefully some of their, I don't know, they still won't have De Bruyne probably, but I think that's going to be the big challenge. I think we easily, and this is one of those where I say we easily beat Luton Town and then they, 1-0. But this isn't Spurs of the past. This is Ange ball.
They Spursy us.
I am 100% behind Ange. I think we take care of business against Luton Town. I think we beat Fulham. They're just, I don't know what's going on with them, but they just don't look that great. Crystal Palace, same deal. Like, they can be difficult, but I just don't see them being competitive against Ange ball over a 90-minute stretch. Chelsea, same thing. Like, maybe Poch can turn it around. They got the result that they needed yesterday. But that was one result in a vacuum. Let's see if they can actually build on that. I'm still not that scared of them, especially since that's another home game. Wolves, I'm not going to discount Wolves either because they did beat City. But again, I just don't see Ange letting us down there. Same with Villa. It's a home game for us. Really, it's away to City that I feel the most worried. I guess that's the way I should frame it, right? I feel the most worried about City away. The rest of them, I feel maybe not comfortable, but like they're all doable. They're not outside of the realm of possibility. There's nobody that is going to give me nightmares.
Like your mom.
Damn.
And I'll leave it at that. With that comment, I think I gotta hand the torch over.
That was Mike's closing thought right there. Your mom joke. How about that? Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, you want me?
Yeah, you just grabbed the torch.
I just externalized what should have stayed internal. I got another mom joke there, and I'm not going to say it.
Always for the
you
best.
got it now.
So yeah, my closing thoughts are these. The media, the sports media especially, perpetuates these stories and builds and builds and builds these stories, and the 24-hour news cycle, it doesn't stop with politics. It doesn't stop with world news. It doesn't stop with sports. It just constantly goes in the constant flow of information and the needing to one up the next person. It's just perpetuated by this media, and all of this bullshit, and it gets people and it works people into this fervor, right? And we get so worked up and so wrapped up in it and so angry about things because of we're hard done by this, or our club is hard done by this, or this player experienced this, or this player had this happen to them. There are three things that have happened so far this week in this news cycle that are 100% on the sports media, and for the sports media helping people to overreact and get really up at arms, and it's going to eventually cause people not just mental harm, not just harm to their lives and their careers, but harm physically. Eventually somebody is going to be physically hurt. I'm talking about the news with Trevor Bauer recently that just came out, all the stuff he's been going through, his career.
Ooh,
yeah. And we don't need to get too far into that. That's another whole podcast we could have.
That's an
on that.
Maybe a little
entire
bit of
podcast
for people.
True, because we have listeners who have no idea what you're talking about. That's valid.
Right. So Trevor Bauer was accused of sexual assault, and over the 2 years of trials, and not being able to speak about the stuff that has happened. They have finally the two parties have finally come to an agreement after 2 years of evidence and non-evidence and hearsay and conjecture. They came to an agreement that no money was to be exchanged. There was no countersuit money to be exchanged. There's no convictions to be had. Trevor Bauer basically lost his career because of this woman, and the evidence shows that she was out there gold digging, and it wasn't the first time that she's done this. She was out not just gold digging, she was extorting money. And she was going to do it by any means necessary, and she had other former professional athletes in on it with her. And Trevor Bauer's career was basically taken away from him and his livelihood and his life. And he was finally able, after the settlement, to speak about it after 2 years of this. And he was wrongfully accused. And that is not to say that we are not to believe the accusers in all circumstances. We have to believe the accusers. I'm saying that, but to have people's careers and their person ruined for it, that's one thing. So that's the Trevor Bauer situation.
Yeah. Mike, can I just say quickly, agree 1,000,000%. You need to believe victims, but you also need to protect the accused and make sure that their rights are protected. And let's be honest, their livelihood is protected until there's some clarity around what happens. We've seen it with so many professional athletes, but also it happens in other segments of
society. It happened to Eve Basuma as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Accusations get made and people can get ruined with zero facts.
And I'm not
an arbiter of any of this, but
it does work in sports. Conversely, too, like in the case of Thomas Partey, and in the case of
Mason Greenwood
and Anthony, like it works opposite too. So which is why we need to believe the accusers. Okay, so that said, the second piece of that is the shit that's going on with this VAR. A lot of people are getting worked up about this, and they're going to be officials that are going to be hurt by this. They made the mistake. Their companies or their company has apologized for it, has suspended them. They're going to serve their sentence, whatever it is, whether it's just the weekend off or whether they get fired. They've apologized for it. The PGMOL has apologized for the situation and vowed to fix it. The third thing, and this is in American sports again, and this is really bothersome to me, is the situation with the New York Jets quarterback. Zach Wilson, because he's not he's not the greatest quarterback of all time, who the Jets thought they had. Granted, that guy's a douchebag. I'm not even going to mention his name, but Zach Wilson came in after that injury, and because he didn't perform at the top level as a rookie last year, when he was thrown into the mix with zero development in the pro game after coming out of BYU, he was not given the benefit of the doubt last year. He's been thrown into the mix this year. And I'm sure he did blame some stuff on his team last year. He's learned from that, right? Now he's come in. He's taken over for a QB who's known as one of the greatest of all time. And now, because he isn't immediately successful, the second he walks into that position, gets torn apart by social media, by the media themselves. Chris Collinsworth this week, disgusting display. On a weekly basis, Chris Collinsworth is terrible. This guy was disgusting this week. Every single play that Zach Wilson ran, he mentioned something about that other quarterback, AR. We'll call him AR. That other quarterback in comparison to who Zach Wilson is and what kind of quarterback Zach Wilson is, what kind of person Zach Wilson is. Zach Wilson has been, for the past 2 weeks, has been getting death threats, has been getting threats against his family and threats inside the stadium. He's been getting booed. He's been getting things thrown at him. And he was shown on camera the other night when he made one mistake at the end of a game. He was shown on camera nearly in tears with one of his other players saying, "This is all my fault." It's gotten to the point where this shit is affecting the player And we need to knock it the fuck off. Just as Steve said, we need to knock it the fuck off with the racism. We need, as people, to knock it the fuck off on social media. Stop threatening these people. We have to understand that these are human beings, and we have to stop threatening these people. We need to stop making comments about their lives and about them on social media when we know nothing about what's going on. Whether Zach Wilson is going to be a great quarterback or not, I still think he has a chance to. He just signed. He got drafted by a shitty organization who doesn't develop quarterbacks. He's put into a situation where he's not able to succeed from the get-go. I think that we need to really look at what we're doing to these professional athletes. I don't give a shit that they make millions of dollars to play a game. These are still human beings, and these are still people that whose lives can be ruined by this shit. We need to stop and knock it off. We come on here every week. We criticize the players for their on-field performances. We don't criticize. We only criticize who they are when we have to, right? When the evidence is stacked up against them. But we do not ever go on to their personal social media ever and tear them down and tear them apart for their performances on the field.
Nor do we encourage anybody to do that. That's just abusive behavior. It's totally uncalled for. Criticize in your own, personal bubble, your safe space for us millennials out there. But, leave it there, right? Like, just, it's like that saying, leave it at, I leave work at work. That's what you do, right?
There was a Chiefs player who came out and said Zach Wilson is a special football player.
There's an excellent Chiefs player who came out and said that. Chris Jones,
an all pro.
But guys, like, we're just blowing smoke right now. Like let's be really honest about what you're saying, Mike. There's one way to make what you're talking about stop. And let me pause. Zach Wilson is not the first athlete to be potentially destroyed by playing in New York City or playing for the New York Jets. Let's establish that as
100%.
But unless we're ready to all get rid of social media and get rid of the concept where everybody has a voice, including three idiots like us who get online every week and are like, this is what we think about how these things should go, right? We at least do it. You can see our faces, you can hear our voices, and we use our names, but unless we're willing as a society to get rid of social media where there's anonymity and everybody thinks they have the right to say everything they want, this will never change. It will only get worse. And I'm not saying we should just suck it up and get over it, but I'm kind of saying we should suck it up and get over it, because if you're going to be in the public eye, that's the cost of doing business, unfortunately. And it's horrible, but that's the world we live in, because we gave human beings this tool that they can use, abuse, and it all goes back to human beings making bad decisions and not using the tools properly, right? Like,
some Harvard elite did it, though.
Well, and it worked, right? Like that Harvard elite's plan worked, and here we are. Sorry, Steve, go ahead.
I don't want to end on a bummer, so I found a nice statistic that I thought I would share with you that should be, a nice uplifting note for us to end on.
Let's hear it. That'd be great.
There is no player that has provided more assists at Old Trafford across all competitions this season than our boy Davinson Sanchez. Davinson Sanchez, with 2 assists, has more assists in all competitions at Old Trafford than anybody else. Now, for those of you who might not be keeping up with good old Davinson because he left Spurs, he does not play for Manchester United. No, that's Reguilon who went to United. Davinson Sanchez, who's injured again, went to Galatasaray. So just, to contextualize all this, he has played 2 games at Old Trafford. He has 2 assists at Old Trafford.
That's awesome.
And no other United player has matched that. So kudos to our old boy Davinson. I'm glad to see that he is being appreciated in Turkey. And hopefully he can keep it up and really continue to hammer on United in the reverse fixture.
Way to go, Steve. Nice optimism at the end after I just gave my doomsday assessment of humanity.
Look, I can also say that we have the same amount of points that we had at this time last year right now. And I will say that the difference is it feels much, much, much different because we're having fun. People are happy. They don't feel like they're being held hostage in order to get those points. It's completely different feeling, right?
Very much so.
We've taken down Liverpool with the help of an official, maybe not. Definitely with the help of Matip, which I feel no sympathy for you. It happened to us last week. We had a center back kick the ball in the goal, and we've drawn with Arsenal, who are in the driver's seat for the league last year and are a big contender this year. And we took out fucking United. I mean, those are not teams that we played and beat last year at this point. So the ball is fun to watch. We're having fun watching it. We're going to have fun again this weekend watching it and going forward. And I think that, we can take a lot of points coming up. So
let's do it.
Sky's the fucking limit for these Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Let's go.
Oh, and what else, Steve?
Don't be an asshole.
And Mike, how about you?
Guys, the world is crazy out there. Stop fucking posting on social media. Stop going on to these people's fucking social media, these athletes' social medias and posting shit. I don't want to see any racism. I don't want to see any of that shit. I want you to do is make sure if you're sick, wear a fucking mask and, be safe. And also,
what else?
Tottenham Hotspur action.